You boot up a competitive game for the first time. Rank. Unranked. You have never felt so much hope for absolutely no reason. Your first match, you die in 11 seconds. You didn't even see what killed you. The replay shows a single bullet fired by someone who, statistically, should not have been able to see you. You watch the replay 4 more times, looking for the moment you could have done something differently. There isn't one. You were just standing there, existing, and that turned out to be a mistake. Welcome to Bronze, the rank where everyone blames everyone else, and somehow everyone is right. Bronze isn't a skill level, it's a support group with guns. You climb out, slowly. You learn the maps, you learn the angles, you start winning more than you lose, which feels less like skill and more like a miracle you don't want to question. You hit silver. You tell your friends, none of them care because none of them play this game, and one of them asks if silver means you're bad, which ruins your whole week. You start watching tutorials, then guides, then full breakdowns of professional matches, pausing every 2 seconds like you're studying for a final exam nobody assigned you. You take notes, actual notes, in a document on a video game. You don't tell anyone about the document. The document grows anyway. Something shifts. You stop dying in 11 seconds. You start dying in 40, which doesn't sound impressive until you remember where you started. Gold rank, the official zone of technically decent. You are no longer the worst player in the lobby. You are just regular. Painfully, forgettably regular. Nobody writes documentaries about gold rank. Gold rank is the participation trophy of competitive gaming. You buy a better mouse. You convince yourself this is a strategic decision and not a cry for help. It helps anyway, which is somehow more annoying than if it hadn't. You start playing with a microphone now. You call out enemy positions with the confidence of someone who has clearly never been right about anything in their life. You are wrong constantly. Nobody mutes you. That, somehow, is the highest compliment you've received all year. Platinum. You can feel it. The game is getting faster, or maybe you're just finally seeing it clearly for the first time. Either way, something clicks. You start recognizing patterns, habits, the way certain enemies always peek the same corner, always reload at the same moment, always panic the same way when they're losing. You're not just playing anymore, you're reading people. This is either really impressive or really concerning, depending on how you look at it. You start doing it outside the game too, in real conversations, and it ruins exactly one dinner before you learn to turn it off. You also start losing differently. Not because you're worse, but because the lobbies are smarter now, and a mistake that used to cost you nothing now costs you the entire round. You take longer to recover from a bad game than you used to. You tell yourself that's just what improvement feels like. You're not entirely sure that's true. Diamond rank. The lobbies get quiet, mistakes get punished instantly and without mercy. You stop talking during matches because every word is a distraction you can no longer afford. You start sleeping worse. Not dramatically. Just enough that you notice. Your mind replays positioning errors at 1 a.m. the way other people replay arguments they lost. Yeah. You're addicted now? Then it falls apart. You lose 19 matches in a row. Your rank drops 2 full tiers in a single weekend. Someone in chat accuses you of cheating, which somehow feels worse than losing, because at least losing was honest. 19 losses. Not a slump. A personality change. You start looking for reasons that aren't you. Your mouse. Your internet. The matchmaking system, which you're now convinced is personally targeting you, despite knowing, somewhere in the back of your mind, that this makes no statistical sense at all. You consider quitting. Not dramatically. Just quietly closing the game one night and almost not opening it again. You don't talk about this part to anyone. You sit in the dark for a while, staring at a black screen that used to be the most interesting thing in your day, and you genuinely can't tell if you're tired of the game or tired of yourself. You open it again anyway, mostly out of stubbornness, a little out of something you don't fully understand yet. Your friends stop understanding your screen. They watch you play and see chaos. You see a puzzle slowly putting itself back together, one careful decision at a time. You start scrimming with strangers online, people who take this far more seriously than any hobby should reasonably be taken. You fit right in immediately, which says something about you that you choose not to examine too closely. One of them, a total stranger from a different time zone, becomes the person you talk to almost every night. You've never seen his face. You know exactly how he reacts to losing a close round. That ends up mattering more than the face would have anyway. Master rank. You're not competing against bad decisions anymore. Everyone here makes good decisions. The only thing separating you now is who makes slightly fewer mistakes per minute. You start studying yourself, reviewing your own deaths like a detective investigating his own crime scene. You find patterns, bad habits hiding in plain sight for years, the kind you couldn't see because you were always the one inside them. You fix them, slowly, painfully, the kind of improvement that feels less like progress and more like exposing your own flaws one by one and being forced to stare at them. This game owns you now. Might as well admit it. Grandmaster. There are maybe a few hundred players in this rank in the entire world on your platform. You didn't know that many people existed who cared this much about a video game. You are now officially one of them. You check the leaderboard more than you'd like to admit. Your name is on it now, in a small font, next to people whose clips you used to watch like documentaries. It doesn't feel real yet. You're not sure when it's supposed to start feeling real. Welcome to the problem. Teams start noticing you. Small ones at first. Amateur squads looking for one more player who doesn't completely fall apart under pressure. You join. You practice 4 hours a day, which your body absolutely does not thank you for. Your wrist starts making a sound it never made before. You ice it, ignore the doctor's advice you haven't asked for yet, and keep going. Your hobby now has a physical therapist. That's how you know it's serious. For a while, that's all it is. Practice. Scrims, the wrist, nights blurring into each other in a way that would worry you if you had the energy left to notice. Your first tournament. Online, no crowd, no lights, just a webcam, and the quiet panic of knowing strangers are judging your every move from somewhere you'll never see. You lose in the first round. It doesn't feel like a video game loss. It feels like something closer to grief, which is a strange thing to feel over pixels. And yet here you are, feeling it anyway. You uninstall nothing. You just sit there, in silence, for longer than you'd admit to anyone watching. Your team chat goes quiet that night in a way it never had before. Nobody blames anyone. That, somehow, is worse than if they had. You all just log off, separately, and you wonder, for the first time, if the other 4 are having the exact same conversation with themselves that you are. You go back, you grind more, you join a better team, one with an actual coach who reviews your footage and says things about your decision-making that sting precisely because they're true. You start traveling to small local events, sleeping in hotel rooms that smell faintly of energy drinks and bad decisions. You eat the same pre-match meal every time now, not because it helps, but because changing it once felt like inviting disaster, and you've never tested that theory since. Rank Challenger, the top of the entire ladder. There is nowhere higher to climb except actual professional competition, the kind with sponsors, salaries, and crowds that boo when you make a mistake on purpose. An organization reaches out, a real one with a logo and a Twitter account, and fans who already have opinions about you despite never having watched you play. You read the contract twice. You understand maybe 60% of it. You sign anyway, because the alternative is wondering forever what would have happened if you hadn't. 60% comprehension, 100% commitment. Tech industry standard, apparently. Your first event with an actual crowd. The noise hits you differently than you expected. Not louder. Heavier. Like the pressure has a physical weight now, sitting directly on your chest. Backstage, 10 minutes before your match, you forget, for 1 full second, how to hold your own mouse correctly. Nobody notices. You will never forget that second as long as you live. You play anyway, because that's the only thing you actually know how to do anymore. You win. Barely. The kind of win that doesn't feel like triumph, just relief. The kind that makes your hands shake for an hour afterward for no visible reason. Your coach hugs you. You don't remember agreeing to be hugged, you don't mind. People start recognizing your username outside the game now. In forums, in comment sections, in places you didn't even know you had a reputation in. Someone makes a highlight reel of your worst plays set to comedic music. You watch it 11 times. Some of it, you have to admit, is fair. Brand deals arrive. Gaming chairs, energy drinks, headsets that promise to make you hear footsteps that, statistically, were never going to save you anyway. You start getting recognized at events by people who have never spoken to you and somehow already know your call-out voice better than your own mother does. Your mother still thinks you play computer. Strangers know your audio cues by heart. Make it make sense. You're a professional gamer now, officially. On paper. In contracts, in a life that started with a single death in 11 seconds and somehow became this. Your schedule isn't yours anymore either. Practice blocks, scrims, media days, a calendar someone else fills out for you, with your name on matches you haven't agreed to play yet, but apparently already have. You miss a friend's birthday for a scrim against a team you'll forget the name of in a year. You tell yourself it's worth it. You're not always sure who you're telling that to. This is the job now. No going back. You lose a final, badly, on the biggest stage you've ever played on, in front of more people than your hometown has residents. You expect it to break something in you. It doesn't. You go back to the hotel, order the same meal you always order, and start reviewing the footage before you've even finished eating. You think back to bronze rank sometimes, to the version of you that didn't know what an angle was, didn't understand positioning, died constantly, and blamed everyone except himself. You don't laugh at that version of you. You're strangely grateful for him. He's the only reason any of this happened at all. He didn't know what he was starting. Neither, honestly, did you. The document still exists, somewhere on an old drive. Hundreds of pages now. You almost never open it anymore. You don't need to. Most of it became you. Somewhere, right now, in a different lobby, a different person just died in 11 seconds. Exactly like you did. They don't know it yet. They're already typing something angry into the chat, blaming a teammate who did nothing wrong. But that might be the whole story starting over. For someone else, the exact same way it started for you. So, wherever you are right now, whatever ladder you're climbing, whatever rank feels impossibly far away. That's the whole video. If this described your own climb a little too accurately, let me know in the comments which rank you're currently stuck at.